Oh, y'all thought I was playing when I called him Cocaine Carlton. Okay. All right, welcome to Taste Take. If you're new here, we're doing recap and reviews of every episode of Bel-Air, Season 1. If that's something you're into, hit that subscribe button for your boy. For my regular Taste Takers, let's see what's going on with Vi. Get it? I said Vi, like Aunt Vi, that's Will's mom, and like Vi, like V-I, because that's number 6, Roman numerals, and this is episode 6. Ugh, that's a stretch. It's fire though. Never mind. All right, you know the drill. Supersonic JJ Fad recap of episode 5. Episode 5 is when Trey comes to visit Will. He's out there in Bel-Air having the time of his life, but at the same time throwing a hissy fit because he realizes that Will may never come back home. He gets drunk at Hillary's influencer dinner and tells Carlton the real reason why Will is in Bel-Air. Of course, Carlton can't not snitch, so he runs and tells Uncle Phil that he knows the truth. Freaking dork. Hillary's dinner goes well, minus the fact that the Black Ass brothers literally showed their black ass. Aunt Viv's getting creeped on by Michael Ealy. Uncle Phil's getting pressed by Lisa's dad about defunding the police. Will and Trey are fighting. Trey decides to just cry it out and go home early. That's pretty much episode 5. ISO boom, episode 6. It's called The Strength to Smile. It was directed by Aurora Guerrero and it was written by TJ Brady and Paul Erickson. This whole episode revolves around the event that the Banks are putting on in honor of Lisa's mom, Gail, who died from lupus. Right off the bat, we find out that the catering company that's supposed to do the event backed out last minute, but no worries, because Hillary decides to step in and help out, which is literally what she does. We then find out that back in Philly, Trey got the whole hood clowning Will because he's not going back home. Freaking Trey. I told you about Trey. I bet he's not telling them boys that he was crying when he found out that Will wasn't coming home. Anyway, Aunt Viv is like, damn, I hope Will doesn't see this. But of course, he already did. So her and Uncle Phil try to console this dude. He's running around all frumpy like it's their fault. He goes downstairs, slams his basketball on the ground, and knocks over some art. And that's why you're not supposed to be bouncing that ball in the house. Right, Graham? Anyway, Uncle Phil's like, all right, bro, now it's time for you to relax. Also, does anyone realize how crazy it is how much Will curses in front of these people? This is a black household. These are still kids. The next scene shows Hillary getting this Cajun food ready for the event. The Black Ash brothers are there knocking shit over. I hate prank accounts. They remind her to make sure that she gets her new content up because Kylo doesn't mess around with his deadlines. Aunt Viv pulls up and sees Hillary hard at work. Nice. Then she sees Jeffrey and she's like, Jeffrey, can you help too? And Uncle Phil's like, no. I need Jeffrey to handle the campaign matter. He probably wants him to slice someone's throat from ear to ear. Lisa comes over to the mansion. Uncle Phil says hello on his way out. She says nothing. And y'all needed to reshoot that because there's one thing we're not doing is ignoring black people in their own house. Back to Hillary, and she gets a call from Kylo, that's her boss in the influencer house, and he's like, yo, where's the content? You gotta be uploading non-stop. And she's like, I know, I just had to handle this family matter. Not gonna lie, they did get that off when Kylo's like, oh snap, a family matter, I love that show. They should reboot that. Very cool to acknowledge that family matters exist in this universe. But does that mean that Fresh Prince exists in this universe? Meta. Next scene, we go over to Carlton and Lisa, who also are working on the fundraiser. Lisa's working on this poem that she wants to recite for her mom, and I guess she wants Carlton to be a part of it, make it like a duet. I don't know. She's telling him that she feels like her stepmom, Angela, is trying to erase her mom. She probably is, girl. Will walks over and sees them talking all close, but remember, Cocaine Carlton told him to stay away from Lisa or else he's snitching. So he does. He walks the other direction, mind his own beeswax. The next scene, we're back in the kitchen where Hillary's still working on this dinner, but now she's getting some help from Ashley. But what's crazy is that they're talking about how Will's mom, Aunt Vi, and Aunt Viv had beef and they stopped talking, which I freaking told y'all. And there's still a lot more episodes to go. Maybe we'll find out that there's a strained relationship between Will's mom and Aunt Viv. We're just not there yet. I knew it. I freaking knew it. Back outside, Lisa pulls up on Will and she's like, hello, you can't speak? And Will doesn't want to get snitched on. He's like, nah, I know this day is hard on you. I want to give you your space. This whole thing reminds me of in The Amazing Spider-Man when Gwen's dad's dying wish was for Peter to stay away from Gwen. Y'all didn't see The Amazing Spider-Man? But for real, there's something about her that's just not doing it for me, respectfully. So now we get to the event starting to kick off. Everything's grooving along nicely. Then Aunt Viv sees that Reed, aka Michael Ealy, pulls up. So I know that thing's starting to sweat. Lisa's dad and his new thing, Angela, also pull up. But also, how are you honoring my dead wife and I'm not the first one there?
And not on period.
Ashley's crush Lucia pulls up with her other friend Mario. So now it's Ashley and Aunt Viv that's sweating all over this thing. I'm just kidding. But now Hillary gets to meet Lucia. Ashley's there all shy and cute and nervous, but something tells me heartbreaks are looming. Cause Lucia's like, yo, is that your cousin Will over there playing the piano? Then we get another awkward scene with Lisa and Carlton talking to Aunt Viv and her friends. Carlton's telling everyone that he wants to go to Princeton, which is a Fresh Prince callback. And Lisa's telling everybody that she wants to swim at Howard. And I know what you all think of me. You think that Chris Tate is gonna say, how you gonna join the swim team at HBCU and black people don't even be swimming like that? But I have matured, and I was not gonna say that. Funny enough, Howard is the only HBCU with a D1 swim team. So it's actually kind of fire that she could probably swim anywhere she wants, and she wants to go to Howard. Anyway, when Lisa says this, Aunt Viv and her friends get all excited, and they tell her that she gotta pledge Delta Pi Gamma. How is it that Uncle Phil got to pledge a real fraternity, but Aunt Viv had to pledge? Never mind. The next scene is where we hear from Lisa's stepmom, Angela. She's asking Aunt Viv how she could get through to Lisa. And then she asks if she could say a few words at the event. And Aunt Viv is like, no, we got a full schedule, so just sit your ass down and vibe. All right, she said it nicer, but still. Then she meets Will, and she's like, oh yeah, I heard about you. You're the one that Viv and Phil took in. I don't like that tone, Angela. You better watch it. Then she asks Will if he ever been to Palm Springs. You know this nigga never been to no Palm Springs. Anyway, so here goes the tea. Angela's like, oh my God, Palm Springs is great. Fred took me there for this golf tournament that he won. And then Aunt Viv's like, wait a minute. I remember that golf tournament. Wasn't that in 2018? And then Angela's like, yep, it sure was. And Aunt Viv's like, that's crazy, because Gail died in 2019. What? My man was sliding, and his woman was dying. She was dying, he was sliding the whole time. That's crazy. That's crazy. Meanwhile, back in the house, Hillary's still getting pressed by Kyla to make new content. And upstairs, Rita's creeping around the house looking for Aunt Viv's art. Sir, what we're not gonna do is be snooping around these people's crib. She catches him up there and she's like, what the hell? And he's like, I was looking for your art. But we all know he was looking for that ass. He finds her newest painting and he's like, girl, this is fire. And she's like, no, it's not. And he's like, all right, how about this? Enter it into the silent auction. If it sells for more than 15K, then you have to agree to put your work in my gallery. And then Viv thinks that shit is whack. So she's like, all right, deal. Really in her head, she's probably thinking like, bro, we gotta get the fuck out of here before my husband pulls. And here comes Uncle Phil. So Uncle Phil's like, what's going on here? And Rita's like, your wife makes some fire art. I told her to enter into the silent auction. And Uncle Phil's like, yeah, all right, nigga. The next scene, we're back with Lisa and Will. Yuck. Lisa's crying that Angela's trying to take her mom's place and that she always has to make it about her. Then Will proceeds to make it about his dad. Like, read the freaking room, William. And the whole time Will and Lisa are talking, Creepy Carl's listening to the whole thing from the balcony, and he hears Lisa say that she's tired of having to tiptoe around Carlton's feelings. Here we go. Then we're back inside where Ashley finally gets some alone time with Lucia. And of course, Lucia breaks her poor little heart because she tells her that she got a crush on Will. On God, I will cancel my whole Peacock account if Ashley pulls up on Will, like Carlton, and tells him to stay away from Lucia. That boy Will is disruptive. Back to the event, Reed, old Sneaky McSneak, goes and bids on Aunt Viv's painting, which defeats the whole purpose of the bet, but does wonders if you're trying to spend more time with her. Then Uncle Phil comes over and outbids him. You know what kind of money you gotta have to spend 20K on a painting that was ready in your house for free? That's different. All right, now we're almost to the craziness. Lisa's getting ready to perform her poem, but of course, Carlton is nowhere to be found. But before we get to that drama, the next scene is Hillary consoling Ashley for her heartbreak. And okay, I think it's cool that Ashley likes this girl and is comfortable coming out and all that. That's cool. But when we met Ashley in episode 1, she was like this super woke road warrior. But since then, all we see is her crushing on this girl. I just feel like they could have given Ashley a way bigger role in planning this event that raises awareness for lupus. That's like the kind of thing she would be and should be doing. They just got her chasing this girl. There's a couple more episodes left, so maybe we'll see some more. But right now, I feel like they're minimizing my dog. Anywho, back to the drama. We cut over to Carlton in his room doing what 2022 Carlton does best. Cocaine. Will walks in on this breakdown and Carlton's over there crying, talking about he heard y'all downstairs. And Will's like, bro, like, you gotta put yourself together. This man is literally crying in Will's face with the coke still in his nose. How you got tears, coke, and snot all mixed in? What kind of high is that? Back to the event, Lisa's on stage now about to read her poem. Of course, Will has to step in and take Carlton's place. But can someone tell me what was even the point of having Carlton read this poem? Like, Will's up there, he reads like literally 2 lines about a woman he's never met. And I know this is supposed to be a real like touching part of the episode, but I couldn't help but think, what is the point of having someone else read this? Like, why not just read it by yourself? Anyway, and Viv is like, where the hell is Carlton? And then Will's like, well, he had too much cocaine, so he's taking a nap. I'm just kidding. Will ain't no snitch like Carlton is. He just tells him he's not feeling well. Then freaking Angela asks again if she can give a toast to Gail. Like, can you just sit down somewhere? Aunt Viv already done told you no. But right before Aunt Viv could go nuclear, Fred and Angela decide to just leave the event. His own dead wife's fundraiser. And before he leaves, he tells Uncle Phil that he's gonna run against him for district attorney. This dude's a savage. Naturally, Jeffrey pulls up out of nowhere and he's like, we good here? Probably had a machete in his hand. But Uncle Phil's like, nah, we good. Phil tells Jeffrey to keep an eye on Fred and Reed too. And of course, Jeffrey's like, no, I'm already on it. This dude, Jeffrey, is ready for all the smoke. I wouldn't be surprised if he got his eyes on Lucia too. You better watch her back, girl. Last couple scenes here, we got Reed talking all low and sexy to Aunt Viv, of course. I had to turn the volume up, but I think he said that the painting sold for $20K, which means that he won the deal. Then Uncle Phil goes up to check on Carlton, and he's like, Carlton, I think I know what's wrong with you. And Carlton's like, you do? And Uncle Phil's like, yeah, it's your anxiety, isn't it? And Carlton's like, yeah, anxiety, that's it. Phil's like, it's gonna be all right. Oh, and by the way, your ex-girlfriend's dad is now running against me for DA, so there's that. But I'm gonna beat his ass. Downstairs, Viv is talking to Will, and she tells him to give Trace some space, and that he'll come around eventually. I don't know, man. You got the whole hood clowning me. I wouldn't hold your breath, bro. Then we get to the wildest, quickest part of the whole episode. Hillary's in the kitchen, finally getting around to this new content that she's been putting off all day, and she's cooking in lingerie. Not Hillary doing OnlyFans at the let-out of a lupus fundraiser, though. We definitely gonna dig into this next week, but they just gonna drop it like that? That's crazy. And the final scene is Will and Lisa by the pool being as boring as ever, and Lisa tells Will she doesn't know how she would have been able to do that poem without him. Yes, you do. Then he tells her that she's the most amazing girl he's ever known. Huh? Of course they kiss, and this time Carlton is nowhere near close enough to push him in the water. That's pretty much episode 6. So what's my take? I'm gonna give Bel-Air season 1, episode 6, 4.5 stars. There's really a lot of stuff going on in one little event. And Viv's gonna start working with Reed. Carlton is doing more coke. Ashley got her heart broken. Hillary's doing OnlyFans. Really an action-packed episode, and we gotta wait a whole week to get some more closure. I still think they need to give my friend Ashley some more important content. Like I said, she should have been all over that lupus fundraiser. And her dad is literally running for office. I would love to see her challenge some of his moderate centrist ideas with some of her more extreme liberal ideas. Like, why is that not happening? That should be happening. But we still got 4 more episodes, so we'll see where it goes. Question of the week. Does anyone have the link to Hillary's OnlyFans account? All right, I'm just kidding. I guess the question of the week is, what do y'all think is the beef between Aunt Vi and Aunt Viv? Like, I heard some crazy theories in some of my other comments, but what do y'all think is this beef? Because we gonna get to it. And I hope it's not too scandalous, but who am I kidding? We want the scandalous. As always, thanks for checking out Tate's Take. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like and that subscribe button. In the comments, of course, the freaking question of the week. Just talk about that stuff. And are they playing my girl Ashley? Like, don't you think she should have been extra woke this episode and like give, Uncle Phil some real static, like, Dad, what the hell? Like, we gotta be, for the culture, for our community. But they just got her chasing this girl. And the girl don't even like her. And Ashley, you didn't want to check if Lucia liked girls? Kids. Thanks for the time, y'all. Peace.